Hi everyone, Simon here with a review of Thunderpaw. Thunderpaw is a side-scrolling 2D action game available for PlayStation 4, which is the version you see on your screens. PS4 version is also cross-buy with the PlayStation Vita, so if you buy one you get both. But it's also on PC, Nintendo Switch and Xbox One. Thunderpaw interested me purely because it's got a dog with a gun. I'm easily bought. What can I say? And it's a very simple, basic 2D action game. It's the kind of stuff that Ratalaika games do very well and publish very well because they are normally competently put together games, maybe an odd mechanic here or there to play with, and put out cheap with an easy platinum. The platinums are very easy with this game and you can get it in under an hour easily for the PS4 and obviously the Vita if you've still got it. I've still got my bad boy, it's not going anywhere. The game handles really nicely though, but there's one trick to this game which caught me off guard slightly and you need to get used to it, and that's the gun has a recoil that will push you backwards. And so where the game starts to get a little bit more tricky across its 20 levels and 5 worlds, you will need to take that recoil into account. Because if you're put on really narrow ledges and you've got something that's really strong firing away, couple of hits and you'll be shooting yourself off of the edge down into oblivion. So you just need to kind of take that with a pinch of salt. As you play through each level, you get a selection of enemies that you'll need to kill, and enemies are kind of placed at different points in the map. You're not always going from left to right. Sometimes you'll have to drop down and up and then kind of reverse back around because they're not mazes, so to speak, because they are kind of open plan and easy to navigate and get around. But there are certain kind of I'd say like level loops that you'll have to kind of take different routes and then kind of go back through the main path and then go down the other way and kind of collect everything. In each level there is a collectible, which is where the trophies are all kind of attributed to. They're all very easy to spot as well, because you just explore every path before you hit the exit and you'll get it. The game itself says that when you go through and kill all of the enemies, which are mostly cats, I thought, the enemies kind of lift out, they give you gems that are supposed to power up your gun. But I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't notice any difference whatsoever. Maybe it's because the enemy HP scaled at the same time? I don't know, but I noticed no difference. What was much more interesting is the fact that you can obviously swap out your guns as you start to collect more over time. And that's useful because with the recoil and the way how the enemies work, enemies fire at you when they see you directly in your line of sight. So because most of the guns obviously just fire horizontally straight in front of you. The bubble gun I found really, really useful because that goes in a wave. And I've just been playing some Pang, so I think that might be why as well. But I found that really useful because it had less of a recoil, but it also gave you verticality so that you could sit underneath ledges and just basically cheeseball the enemies on top of you. Talking of cheese, you can cheese all the bosses in this game as well, and that's because you can just keep running away from them and just shooting back occasionally, and eventually you'll get them done. There's no time limits to anything, you're just literally clearing out the enemies per level, and same with the bosses as well, you just keep going till the HP is down. There's a lot of this game that's it's relatively well and competently put together, it's harmless, it does nothing particularly wrong, but everything is cheesable. So you can just kind of stand in the corner and fire away. And I know that takes away from the whole kind of point of playing the game, but it does kind of beg the question of it needed some extra kind of mechanics and kind of strength testing, I guess, is probably the best way that I describe it. Because if you can cheese the entire game, it kind of makes the game a bit pointless to play and deal with. Outside of that though, Thunderpaw handles well. I didn't run into any bugs or any problems with that. It's just bland and basic, and whilst I was entranced whilst it was on heavy sale with a dog with a gun, that is literally all that I would recommend it for. Dog with gun, entertaining for an hour, especially if you've got cross-buy for 2 platinums, and a very quick-handed experience, but nothing more beyond that. A written review will be over on highplayinggames.com shortly. Until then, take care. Bye.